In a number of my recent videos, I've been showing you how I'm exposing services on my home network out to the public internet. I've kind of glossed over how I'm doing that using NGINX Proxy Manager, so I figured I'd do a video on that specifically. Let's go and take a look right here on Jeff's Pie in the Sky. Hello once again, Pi geeks and techno nerds all over the world. My name's Jeff and I'm an IT professional who's been in the industry for over 30 years. I've been using Raspberry Pi since they first came out, and I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've done along the way. If you like what you see on this channel, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell so you can be told when I put a new video out. Let me know in the comments how you expose services out onto the public internet from your home network. Or indeed, if you don't do it at all. There are other options like using Cloudflare tunnels and that sort of thing. If you prefer using something like that, let me know. Also, if you could see it within your heart to use the YouTube hype functionality to hype my channel, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps small channels like mine grow because it lets the videos be put out in front of more people. And I'm always eternally grateful for any support that you guys bring. Now, if you're anything like me, over the years you've probably used a variety of techniques to expose services out to the public internet. Back in the day, one of the most common ways of doing this was just punching a hole through your firewall and forwarding requests to a device that you've got on your home network. And that's fine for one service, but if you've got a bunch of services, then you had to expose multiple ports through your firewall, and you'd need to know what port to use when you try to connect to that from the internet. Now, many moons ago, I made a video about how to use NGINX as a reverse proxy to solve this to an extent, where you could provide a path onto your URL, and then NGINX would use that to route your request to an appropriate backend server. And that was okay. However, it's much cleaner if you can actually use subdomains for this. So for example, if your domain is mydomain.com, then a subdomain could be mywebsite.mydomain.com. And most DNS providers allow you to do this, creating as many subdomains as you like against the domain name that you've registered. And what's really nice is that NGINX then produced a specific product to help you out with this called NGINX Proxy Manager, or NPM. And what this allowed you to do was have it analyze the domain name that's being requested and then have it route to an appropriate server within your home network. And that's what I do these days. So all I really have to do in my firewall is expose port 443 for HTTPS. That then comes into NGINX Proxy Manager, and depending on what domain I'm asking for, it will then route my request to an appropriate box on my home network. Now, all of this may sound a bit crazy, but it's actually really simple to set up. And even better, NGINX Proxy Manager has all of the stuff built in for you to also be able to create and manage free SSL certificates. So you don't even have to worry about creating those either. Although, if you hang around to the end of this video, there is one extra layer of security that you can add onto your websites by making use of your own self-signed certificates. So stay tuned for that. But let me initially take you through how to set all of this up. So here I'm on a brand new Raspberry Pi 4 that's just had Raspberry Pi OS Trixie Lite version installed on it. And the first thing I want to do here is now install Docker. And the easiest way to do this is just run curl minus lowercase f, lowercase s, capital L, https://get.docker.com and pipe the output of that into sudo bash. And that will then go off and install everything. Now Docker's installed, I need to add the Pi user to the Docker user group, and this will then allow the Pi user to run Docker commands. So to do that, I just have to run sudo usermod minus lowercase a, uppercase G, Docker Pi. And after this, I just need to log out and log back in again. Now, if I just run docker run hello-world, it will go ahead, pull that container, and then just give you this little message. And this shows you that the whole Docker subsystem is working perfectly. Now, if you go to nginxproxymanager.com, you'll get to this website here. And if you hit the Get Started button, there's some really nice documentation about how to get all this set up. Now down here, there's a basic setup where you just install the npm Docker container. And that's fine, but I actually prefer to use the full setup that's shown here. Now, as well as the application, there's an alternative compose file just a little further down where it also makes use of a MariaDB database. And what happens is npm actually makes use of this for storing a whole load of information about the host that you set up and things like that. However, one problem I found with running this on a Raspberry Pi is this default database here doesn't run up properly, so I've had to make a slight change to this compose file. Now, most of my database configuration here is exactly the same as what it was on the website, but I've just made a modification here to the container image that it pulls. So rather than using Linux server /MariaDB, I'm now using jc21/MariaDB-aria:\latest. And this jc21 is also what hosts the NGINX Proxy Manager service as well. So it is well trusted. Now, the only other changes I'm making in here are to the time zone. So I'm setting this to UTC. So no matter what happens with my local time and clock changes, then the time on my Raspberry Pi here will always be the same. And I've done the same for the database as well. And now I can download all of the containers and start everything up just with docker compose -f npm.yaml up -d. That will go ahead and initially pull all of the containers and start up the software. Now the containers are up and running, and if I navigate to the IP address of my Raspberry Pi, then I get to this page here, and if I change the port that I'm navigating to 81, then I get to the NGINX Proxy Manager admin account setup screen. So I'm just going to go ahead, create myself an account locally here, and then I'll come back. And now you can see here the main dashboard for NGINX Proxy Manager. And from here you can go ahead and you can create your proxy hosts, manage certificates, and all kinds of stuff. Now, before you can go much further with this, you'll need to make a change to your firewall to allow through both ports 443 and port 80 to this Raspberry Pi. Now, all routers do this slightly differently, but most follow the same kind of process. You define the port that you want to forward, and then you want to define a destination for where that's going to go to, which will just be the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So here, this is the one that I've done for port 80, and I'll do exactly the same for port 443. Now, the next thing you'll need to worry about is DNS. Now, I use noip.com to provide dynamic DNS functionality. So here, I've got an account that I created on noip.com, and I've also set that up within my dynamic DNS settings within my router. So anytime my IP address changes that I get from my ISP, my router will then call into this and update my record. Now, this is the hostname setting that I've set up. So basically, I can have any subdomain under jpits.ddns.net, and that will then go to my IP address. And this means I don't have to worry about configuring specific subdomains within noip.com. It can cope with anything. And that means I've now got the flexibility to be able to create any subdomain that I want within NGINX Proxy Manager. So now we've got NGINX Proxy Manager, we need some content to point it at. And just to show you how this works, I'm just going to run a local Apache web server here, again as another container. So I'm just going to grab the latest Apache 2 HTTPD container image. I'm going to map into it a subdirectory I've got here called pages that I'll expose into the container as /user/local/apache2/htdocs. And this is by default where Apache 2 puts its web pages. Now, since NGINX Proxy Manager is itself listening on port 80, I can't use that default port on the Raspberry Pi. So instead, I'm mapping through port 5080 on the Raspberry Pi to port 80 in the container. And then I'm giving Docker permission to restart the container if it unexpectedly stops. And so if I start up that container now, and I navigate to port 5080 on my Raspberry Pi, then I can see the little web page that I created. And this is just in that pages subdirectory where I've created a file called index.html, and it's just got this basic HTML web page in it. Back within NGINX Proxy Manager here, I can now start to set up the redirect to my website. Now, the first thing I want to do here is I want to set up an HTTPS certificate that I can use for the website so that everything is encrypted. And here I'm going to make use of a service called Let's Encrypt. And this lets you create certificates for free that you can use on your personal websites. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to do to set this up before we can actually make use of it. The first thing I need to do on my Raspberry Pi here is install certbot. And this is a piece of software that you can use to automatically renew certificates that you create using Let's Encrypt. So I'm just going to install that with sudo apt install -y certbot. Now I have that installed, I just want to make sure the service has started okay. Now, if we look at the status of the certbot service here, it says it's inactive. And that's actually okay, strangely enough. It's not always running in the background. Instead, it runs on a timer. And so it will basically just start up, see if there's any certificates that need to be renewed, and then just shut itself down again. So the fact that it's not running right now is absolutely fine. Switching back to my browser and the NGINX Proxy Manager admin site, if I now go to the Certificates tab and I say Add Certificate, I can now say Let's Encrypt via HTTP. Now, if you remember, there's two things here. First off, I set up a wildcarded domain within my dynamic DNS provider of star.jpits.ddns.net, and that would always forward onto my IP address. And I also created a firewall rule within my router to allow port 80 traffic to come into it, and that would then get forwarded onto my Raspberry Pi. So here I can just say, let's encrypt via HTTP. So if I set up a domain here, I just call it mywebsite.jpits.ddns.net. Since my website is a subdomain of jpits.ddns.net, it's covered by that wildcard entry in my dynamic DNS config. So I can just hit enter here, and if I hit test, then it comes back saying that the server is reachable and creating certificates. So if I just hit save here, what it will do is it will go off to Let's Encrypt and it will create me a certificate. And that's come back here saying that the certificate has been created and it's just currently not being used. So now we can go back to the dashboard, set up a proxy host, and the proxy host that we set up will be a redirect to our Apache web server. So I just hit add proxy host. The domain name is exactly what we used for the certificate. So it's just mywebsite.jpits.ddns.net. And I just hit enter and you see it then becomes this little bubble here. And then I say where it wants to forward on requests to. So here it's the IP address of my Raspberry Pi, and the forward port is port 5080, which is the port I forwarded from my Apache web server to my Raspberry Pi. After this, if I just click the SSL tab here, I can then select my certificate from the drop down here. So the certificate for mywebsite.jpits.ddns.net. I can also check this button to force SSL so that if anyone tries to access my website on port 80, it will force them to use the encrypted version. And now if I hit save, I've now got my new proxy all set up. And so if I open up a new browser tab and I just try to navigate to https://mywebsite.jpits.ddns.net, I get my website being displayed. And everything is all encrypted. It's using a completely valid server certificate, and certbot will take care of renewing that certificate with Let's Encrypt whenever it expires. Now, once you've got this up and running, one thing you'll absolutely want to do is turn off the port 80 forwarding within your router again. It's never a good idea to have port 80 open for any kind of length of time on your router. It's just inviting attacks in from the internet. Because HTTP is entirely unencrypted, if you did ever try to access anything and provide a password or anything like that, then all of that information could so easily be captured. So if you keep port 80 switched off within your router, you're a lot safer. So I only ever switch this on when I need to create a certificate, and then I immediately switch it off again. Now, there is one other piece of configuration you can provide here in order to put one extra layer of security onto your websites. For some resources within your home network, you may want them locked down even further. And one thing you can use for this are self-signed certificates. Now, as an example, I've got a KVM here so I can manage my home server no matter where I am in the world. However, I don't want anyone to have access to that except for me. So what I can do for this specific website is go to the settings cog, and I can say in here that I want to enforce if anyone wants to come to this website, they've got to be able to present a certificate that has been signed by this particular certificate authority. And this is all a certificate authority that I set up. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about with certificates and certificate authorities, take a look at this video here where I set everything up. What I've created here is basically a certificate authority for my domain, and then I've created a user certificate that is signed by that authority. So by setting this up in NGINX Proxy Manager, unless I can present that certificate, it won't let me in. Now, just to illustrate this, I've opened up Firefox here, where Chrome is my normal browser. So in Firefox, I don't have this certificate imported. So I can't present a certificate to authenticate myself. And as you can see, it won't let me in. And there's nothing I can do here to bypass this. But if I go into settings and I go to privacy and security and then scroll down to where it says manage certificates, I can then come in here and I can import two different things. Under authorities here, I can hit import, and then I can import the certificate for my specific configuration. I can then go to your certificates, and in here I hit import again, and this time I import the certificate that represents me, and this certificate has been signed by that other certificate authority. And now if I open up a new Firefox window and I try to navigate to the website again, this time it's popped up a window here asking if I want to use this certificate to identify myself. So I say OK to that, and this time it will let me into my KVM. So this way, the only people who could ever connect to my KVM remotely are people who have a certificate that I have actually created and signed and given to them. Now, all of this public key infrastructure stuff, I know it's really complicated, and you probably only ever want to use it in really niche circumstances, but it does add that extra layer of security to your website. So it's really useful in those extreme cases. And so there you go. We can now use NGINX Proxy Manager as a front door to any services that are running on our network. And we only need minimal ports configured on our firewall, so everything's really nice and secure. Now, of course, on my website here, I didn't apply any kind of authentication onto it or anything like that. And with your websites, of course, that would be something you would always do. But the purpose of this video was just to show you how you can use NGINX Proxy Manager to forward those requests onto your own services, even though they're spread far and wide through your home network. But that's it for this video. Once again, if you like what you see here, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell so you can be told when I put a new video out. Let me know in the comments how you go about hosting your own websites and if you use anything like this, or if you use something like a Cloudflare tunnel or that kind of thing. There are no right answers here, just really interested to know what anyone else uses. Thanks so much for watching till the end, and until next time, bye for now.